Let's face it, the reason why people don't dry fire as much as they should be is because it's fucking boring. What's happening, guys? It's Nick from S2 Strategic Defense. Hope all is well. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my new favorite training tool for firearms training, whether it's dry fire or live fire, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win one. So let's get right into it. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced shooter, we're constantly trying to improve. And if you're trying to improve, we know that we have to spend more time doing dry fire work. And I agree, dry fire is proven to help us with marksmanship, firearms manipulations, and all that. But there's a couple problems. One problem is that dry fire work is typically boring, which means people do not spend the time like they should doing dry fire drills. Another problem is that dry fire does not have a feedback system. How do you know if you did something right? How do you know if you did something wrong? How do you know what to improve? How do you know if you improved? And if you don't have data, and if you don't have a feedback system, then in all honesty, we turn into robots just kind of going through the motions until the Mantis X10. Now, I got introduced to the Mantis product line from my friend John Correa a couple of years ago. He had mentioned it. I didn't think too much about it, mostly because I have an entire simulator set up in my training academy, 104-inch screen, a couple SIRT pistols. I could set up IDPA matches, steel, I could do branching video, all kinds of stuff. But that has some serious limitations, including being able to just take it with me and actually spend time training it. So I started looking at other products, and I finally settled on the X10, which is kind of the flagship model from the Mantis guys. I contacted them, I got my hands on an X10, and I gotta tell you, I've been non-stop training with this thing ever since I got it. I'm talking like 300 to 400 trigger presses in one single day, every single day, and it never feels boring. A product like this is kind of revolutionary because what it does is it gives you so much feedback, it gives you so much guidance on how to make improvement and what's going on, that every single time that you do some kind of a dry fire drill or a live fire drill, you're getting feedback and you're actually making improvements, and that's huge. Let's do a quick unboxing and see what comes with your Mantis X10 shooting performance system. Here's the main package that it comes with, really nicely put together, cool graphics on it. On the back side of it, there's some contents. It tells you how to download the app and connect via Bluetooth, some additional promotional material. That's just an outer sleeve. There's our main box, and by the way, this looks really nice. It feels really nice. It's not chintzy, so if you guys are ever giving it as a gift, you have a nice package that will amaze anyone. Once you take this lid off, you have the quick start guide in case somebody needs some help connecting via Bluetooth and understanding how to get the app onto their phone. Now, this is the main case. This contains all of the good stuff inside of it. This is what I keep in my gear bag. It protects everything. It's not heavy. It's pretty small. It's barely bigger than something that you put your earbuds in, something like that. And I don't have to walk around boxes all the time. So let's open this up. As soon as you unzip it, you have the USB charging cable. That comes in handy because, you know, we got to charge things, right? The actual unit itself. Now, if you compare this, the X10, the X3, the X7, in comparison to the original Mantis X, this is about half the size. And the old version, you would slide it onto a Picatinny rail and then run a set screw on the back side of it, and that would hold it in place. And that was on a flathead kind of a screw. The new ones use a proprietary clip system, which comes in super handy for being able to slide it on and off the gun really quickly, or being able to change it, which I take this to the range or even dry fire, and sometimes I'm on my Glock, sometimes I'm on a SIRT pistol, sometimes I'm on a carbine, sometimes I'm on a SIG, sometimes I'm on a Springfield. So to be able to swap them out quickly, that clip comes in super handy. So there's the main unit itself. Here you have a two-part mounting system that holds together like this, and they do give you the Allen keys and the Allen wrench to be able to tighten that down. And this is if you're running some kind of a race gun or a rifle and you need to hang this off of a barrel. And if you're worried about the heat of the barrel, then they give you these sheets of rubber liner that you can stick on the inside of that, keep the heat away from the plastic parts. That way you can guarantee yourself that you're not warping it or, you know, changing the shape or damaging this particular mount. And then of course, it wouldn't be complete without having a tactical decal that you guys can have and, you know, wear proudly on your gear bags. Okay, so that's inside the package. Now, the only other thing that I would recommend that everybody should get is, this is the universal mag rail, what they call the universal mag rail. And basically, it's a stick-on version of some Picatinny rail. You would put that on the base plate of your magazine. The reason why you're doing that is if you have a firearm right now and you don't have a holster that allows for a light, then the Mantis X unit won't go inside that holster with the gun. And so that it becomes useless. But if you use this little attachment, put it on the base plate of your magazine, then you can attach the unit on the bottom of that, and then you can start doing all of the measurements that the Mantis X10 provides you, such as holster draws and that kind of thing. So that comes in handy. These are, I believe, $10 extra. It's well worth having just 2 or 3 of them sitting inside of your bag in case you need to use one and attach it to different magazines. So that's what comes inside the package. Really well put together. Doesn't look and feel cheap. Well put together. Nice presentation, and it has everything that you're going to need for proper training. Now that we've had an opportunity to see what's inside of the package of the Mantis X10, let's see how this thing works. I went ahead and installed it onto my SIRT pistol. You can use a SIRT gun, you can use an airsoft gun, or you can use your actual firearm. From inside of the app, you'll have an opportunity to adjust whether it's dry fire, CO2, or live fire. So this unit does go to the live fire range with me because that's a great place to start using things like the Recoil Meter offered in the X10. I'll talk more about that later on. Real quick, if you're going to be doing a lot of dry fire drills like I do, make sure that the environment is sterile. Check, double check, triple check, quadruple check to see if the gun's clear, magazines are empty, ammo's out of the way, and you have yourself a good gun dojo. Now, my SIRT pistol is modeled after the Glock 17. And so we have a Picatinny rail section right at the front of the gun. I've already went ahead and clipped on the Mantis X10 the same way that you would put a light on. It stays on using the proprietary clip method that Mantis provides. And the on-off button is right at the bottom of that. And I'll go ahead and push that button for you real quick. And you see how that green light turns on. When the green light turns on, we're going to go into the app, push the connect button. It will tell you to put the firearm down on a flat surface, and it'll take a few seconds just to calibrate, and then once it's done calibrating, it's time to start training. Let's take a look inside of the app, and I'd like to give you guys a screen share so you can see what's going on inside. That's where obviously we're gonna be spending most of your time, and this is really where the business is at. You'll be spending not just most of your time, but I really want you guys to understand how powerful the Mantis product line is. So let's go ahead and get on screen here, and I'll open the Mantis app. We're gonna turn on the Mantis unit, push the connect button. It's gonna go ahead and scan. And right away, what you're gonna end up doing at first is coming into the settings section and setting up your user profile, your name, your email, and that's gonna create an account so that way all of your training sessions are gonna get associated to that. You can then sync that to multiple devices, different tablets, different phones, that kind of thing. So that way you guys can use your Mantis pretty much wherever you're at, even if you don't have your tablet, but you have your iPhone, or you can review stuff later on. And so that's really cool. After you get done with that part of it, what you'll do is you want to create a gun profile. And so at the very top, you'll see where it says the red button that has a pistol or rifle. And then right below that, you'll be able to go through all of the different manufacturers, find your manufacturer, and then click on that, find the model, and if the model that you have is not listed, go to the bottom, and then you can just go ahead and add new. And it's really cool to see that these guys have an algorithm for all of these different manufacturers and all these different guns, and that really tells me that a lot of people are using the Mantis X and it works. It's a good, solid product. Okay. Once we back out of that, then you're going to say if you're a left-handed shooter or a right-handed shooter. Shot detection mode is live fire, dry fire, or CO2, meaning for the guys who are using airsoft. We're going to be in dry fire today. Then you have how did you mount the Mantis X, forward, backward, bottom, top, left, right, cool. After that, you can go into like advanced settings, audio settings, that kind of stuff. I'll let you guys play with that whenever you guys get your hands on your Mantis X for your preferences. So as soon as you're done with that, you're gonna go over to where it says train. Training side, if you take a look here, has a variety of different things that you guys can work on, what we call open training. You can use a shot timer, the benchmarks, compressed surprise breaks, different types of reloads, primary hand only, support hand only, cadence, and then you have some basic courses at the very bottom. If you guys are brand new at shooting and you want to do a basic pistols marksmanship course, that's a great place to go ahead and get started. Has some fun challenges along the way too that you guys can kind of hit as different milestones. Let's go into open training, and this is what you're going to see. Again, you'll have another opportunity to change if it's dry fire, CO2, or live fire, right hand, left hand, and so on and so forth. So once you guys have that, we're going to go ahead and push start, and this spider chart will open up. Now it's time to train. So let me go ahead and take 5 dry fire shots with the SIRT pistol here, and you'll see how this populates, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Let's stop that session. Okay, here we go. So you have this spider chart that gives you kind of an average score, okay? Normally what will end up happening is it will give you a little bit of a red bar on the side of this inner circle. And if you click on that red bar, it'll tell you what's going on. This is kind of like a correctional chart that you see on a paper target sometimes. And you can click on that and it'll help you understand what movement got registered, why, and then how to correct it. So that's really good. When we slide over to the next place, that's going to show us a different graphical layout of basically the same thing. At the very top, you can see all 5 shots laid out versus my average, which is like, 96 or so. Below that, you'll see the different part where it shows the hold movement and the trigger press movement. Let's talk about that just a second here. On this side, when we slide over to the next menu, this is really cool because we could actually have a small video of this. So shot by shot, I can play. And the blue line that you're seeing on the screen right now is the 400ths of a second before the trigger break. Then the yellow line comes in, and that's 150th of a second before the trigger break. Then you have the X, which is the trigger break itself. And then the red line is post shot. So what did you do afterwards? And we could take a look at that independently of each particular shot. So once you guys get done with that, what you can do is go into the history, and you can see that all of your sessions from day 1 are listed in your history. And every single session, by the way, will continually show you all of the information that we just kind of went through from part 1 all the way through. So that's really good that you guys can track your progress, see what you're doing. We can separate this and filter this by different guns or right hand only, left hand only, that kind of stuff. So it's very powerful, and the fact that we can sync this from one device to another, which means that I don't always have to have my tablet with me. I can use my phone or whatever. And so that's really cool as well. The Mantis X10 is a great tool to take to the range for your live fire practice as well. Not only does it give you all of the features of the dry fire, but once you go into live fire mode, it also unlocks some additional features. So that really comes in handy. I kind of have a small tradition when I get into the range and I get everything all set up and everything's all connected. I'll go through 2 to 3 cycles of 8 to 10 shots each in dry fire mode just to get things moving. I'll take a look at the data, make some small adjustments. Then I'll go through 1 to 2 cycles of 8 to 10 shots in live fire mode, and that helps me really get the day going and making sure that my training day is much more productive and I'm not wasting a bunch of brass getting warmed up. You guys can set up your own tradition, but that's a quick tip from me to you. Hopefully that helps. What I'd like to show you right now is a key feature of the Mantis X10 that's not available in the other Mantis models. This is really cool. Every single shooter, whether you're beginner or advanced, is constantly refining and tuning in on recoil management. We know it's an important aspect of things, but we've never had a way to graphically look at it until the Mantis X10 came about. The recoil meter measures the time between every single trigger press, and it gives you data that you can take a look at that, like I said, we just haven't seen before. So I'd like to show you what that looks like in live time. So I have the Mantis already set up on my 19X. Let's get a magazine, press check, Good, good, here we go. I'm gonna start. And let's take a look and see what this looks like. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the screen here real quick. First thing that we notice is that you have this red tracer line that shows us what's happening with the muzzle every single time that's in between shot by shot. Then what ends up happening is we can go over to the top right corner and see the recovery time, the muzzle rise, the recoil width, and the recoil angle. That's very cool to be able to see all of that. And then in the lower left-hand corner, you can see the average recovery time between those few shots. This is really good data because we could take a look at this and say, hey, look, do I need to change something in my grip? Am I missing the sights? And at least it gives us a tangible analysis of the recoil management broken down in a variety of different ways that we can start honing in on being able to improve recoil management. And that's a great feature of the Mantis X10. All right, guys, hopefully this video gave you some insight on how powerful and versatile the Mantis X10 is. I love this thing. I've been using it every single day, dry fire and live fire. I'll do some videos for you guys later on, showing you some different skills and drills that we can work on using the Mantis X10. It's a super powerful tool. I think everybody should have one. So let's talk about how you can get your hands on your own Mantis X10 or anyone in their product line. First and foremost, you can go ahead and purchase one. Go straight over to s2strategic.com, click on the online store, and you can order it right from there. We'll get this out to you as soon as possible. We went to the trouble of becoming a dealer for Mantis. In all honesty, I don't typically do that. We're not a retailer, we're a training provider. However, I love the product so much that I wanted to get this out into your hands as soon as possible. Or you could try to win one. I want to give away a few of these things. Let's do a raffle. And here's the raffle. Let's go $10 for one entry, $20 for 3 entries. I'm gonna limit how many entries per Mantis X10 that we give away. And I'm gonna do a live reading on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. So if you guys are following us, that's great. If you're not following us, please get online. Follow our Facebook page at S2 Strategic Defense, and then follow us on Instagram at S2 Strategic. I'll make sure that I put all the information in the description below. So either purchase one or let's get you guys inside of a raffle. I'm gonna go ahead and get a handful of these things out there. It's $10 a ticket, it's $20 for 3. I'm gonna limit how many spots. Let's do a live reading on social media so that way we can call it the winners live time and you guys can be a part of the giveaway. All right, guys, hopefully this helps out. I will see you guys on the next video.